Let's try that instead. Test, test. There we go. Now you can hear me. See, you learn little lessons as you go. I tested all this originally on one stream, and it was working fine. It was all connected, working wonderfully. Could hear myself, and a very diligent member of the audience messaged to say, "Can't hear a fucking word you're saying." Couldn't figure out why. Turned out it's because I had the temerity of disconnecting the setup here, because it's not a permanent setup. But anyway, I digress. Thank you for joining me this evening, and sorry for the slight technical issue there. I thought I'd hop on just to kind of waffle about a couple of things. Just they're on my mind, and I just feel like discussing them with no one except for you. So thank you for joining me. So, what did I put? Discourse and UK Battle Rap. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. If no other reason than because I think Discourse in Battle Rap is a weird one. Plug 4 happened at the weekend. Great event by all intents and purposes and accounts. And a lot of praise and a lot of love being shown to the battlers, to the organisers and things like that. One of the things I wanted to talk about, though, was criticism. And how I note that sometimes it's presented in UK Battle Rap, and it's not unique to UK Battle Rap. Fandom these days is incredibly disjointed and very vitriolic when it wants to be. And I, for one, don't necessarily appreciate vitriolic fandom. I also don't appreciate sycophantic fandom. One of the criticisms that I was leveled recently is that I can't be both. I can't appreciate someone, be nice to them, and be complimentary to them while also criticizing them. And I think that's a slightly oxymoronic statement. But if it needs justifying, let me justify it by saying that you can be objectively respectful and analytical about something that you observe while still taking issue or objecting to certain aspects of something being delivered, the person delivering it, something else they may have done, or the rest of it. And I think battle rap is weird in a way. I really appreciate the artistry and the sort of performative elements of battle rap, but one of the things I think that's really holding it back in terms of its crossover appeal is that whenever someone on the more casual end, or maybe in the less entrenched end, sticks their head above the parapet and expresses even an iota of an opinion that doesn't align with the common consensus, it's very weird in that you can get an extremely vitriolic response. I've actually had two separate instances of what I would consider to be an overly sensitive response to a critique that I leveled that I didn't think was particularly cutting or scathing, which is ironic given the genre that we're in. And the only reason I raise this isn't to kind of hold a torch against UK battle rap in a sense. It's just to kind of hold a mirror up to it to say, well, do you want to be successful? Do you want to be held in a regard that would allow you to encourage and promote more fans through the door? Do you want to be seen as professionals? Do you want to be seen as true artists and true performers? You know, I wonder about that sometimes. It's very easy, trust me, it's very easy taking positive criticism. I don't receive a lot of it, but when I do, it's greatly appreciated. I'm not saying I go looking for criticism, but what I will say is that there's never been a piece of criticism on YouTube, for instance, that hasn't ultimately ended up being very, very... Let me just turn this down a little bit because I'm seeing that the audio levels are peaking a little bit. There we go. That should be a little bit more comfortable for your precious little ears. There's never been a piece of criticism leveled to me in the comments section, apart from just your shit, that wasn't ultimately useful to me in some way. I told the story before on my gaming show that I used to host that the rendering of my videos wasn't particularly comfortable for one viewer. I spent weeks agonizing over this comment. Why is this person going on and on and on about it? Why do they go on and on and on about it? It's this tiny little stupid little insignificant thing. Why do they keep going on about it? And then I actually fucking fixed it. And the thing with it is it not only addressed that particular person's comment and it made them feel appreciated and validated. Honestly, it made my videos seem so much better. Like, a lot better. Like, it went from looking quite jittery and jarring to smooth as butter. Another instance was the very first video I ever made. The very first video I ever made was a review of Batman Arkham Asylum. It was not good. And the main criticism wasn't anything I had to say. Wasn't the way it looked or it was presented, although there were some problems with all of those, of course. It was the fact that I was rocking in my chair. And I remember taking that piece of criticism and being very flippant with it and being like, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about, man. It's just stupid. Like, why are you focusing on that? Why aren't you focusing on all the good things that I do? Do you know what I mean? And instead of taking the criticism for what it was, which was a genuine attempt to make me better at what I did, I kind of threw it in the people's, because it was multiple. And again, that's how you know it's a valid piece of criticism. When more than one person comes up to you and says it, it's difficult for you to not at least try and look for some kernel of truth in there somewhere. And this is where I come back to battle rap, because whenever I've had conversations with battle rappers about what could be done to improve the standing of the industry in the eyes of a casual consumer, or indeed a more widespread audience, it's usually met with a very strong reservation, or at least a very dismissive approach of, well, you have to understand this, that, or the other. And I just disagree. And this is why I say it. It's not because I want to be disparaging of battle rap. Honestly, battle rap for me is one of those underappreciated and underutilized elements of our culture. It's massive in America. It's massive in Canada. Its fingerprints are all over entertainment as we know it today, and some of its main characters, especially in Premier Battles, which is the league that I most keenly pay attention to, are some of the most entertaining and comedic and intricately worded people you'll ever meet. And so I fail to see how they couldn't be perceived as a much bigger deal than they are currently perceived. And I think one of the things is this sort of churlish notion that someone can't have an opinion unless it's validated by a bunch of other people. And that's a weird one for me. I feel like criticism or a point can be addressed in of itself. It shouldn't be addressed as you're stupid, or you don't know what you're talking about, or just dismissing the comment out of hand. It should be something that ultimately stems from this idea of trying to either address the criticism by explaining some aspect of it that the person has missed, but again, in an attempt to not be vitriolic, in an attempt to try and still appreciate and understand where the person's criticism has come from. If it's genuinely vitriolic, then fair enough. I don't take any issue with that. But I think that most people, when they lay a piece of criticism at the door, even if it's flippant or somewhat derogatory, it comes from having their time wasted. And I don't know if any of us really want to have our time wasted these days. Again, our entertainment sphere is thick and fucking rife with a million different things and fucking everything pulling at your fucking attention. I mean, you tell me, in the midst of you scanning YouTube today, or even scrolling through Twitter, which is where the two places you would have seen the notification for this video, how many fucking adverts did you see? You got to make your way through those first, and then you got to make through all the notifications you got on your phone with probably more content to sift through. If you take the time to leave someone a piece of criticism these days, it's usually because you saw something and you were like, man, this was a particular waste of my time for a reason. And I think it's imperative that we as creators, and I say we because I include myself in this, try to take criticism on board for what it's worth in an age where we are increasingly finding it difficult to compete with short form content, where someone can just clip something, anything, doesn't even have to be theirs, post it and get views. It takes no effort, it takes no skill, it takes no panache, it takes no insight, no reflection, no skill, no accumulative effort. And I feel like battle rap is a weird one because of all the genres that are currently out there that are untapped, battle rap is a rich tapestry of characters, scenarios, a plethora of different historical moments, individual moments within the sort of the industry itself, in terms of events, in terms of the formations of leagues, in terms of the debuts, and the momentous clashes and things of that nature. Interviewing battle rappers has given me a more of a historical context to a lot of battle rap that I didn't have before, where I was just watching because of, I'll be honest, views. Again, I fell into that trap like everybody else. How many views has it got? Is it good? We'll check how many views it's got. Instead, battle rap has become to me something that I always enjoy. Like, if I'll get a smaller scale battler or a new battler ping me and say, can you check out my stuff? Dude, I'll always check out that shit. Because it's not, someone starting off versus someone who's been in it 20 years is not an indication of quality. Someone with 1,000 views versus someone with 10,000 views or 1 million views or whatever it is not an indication of quality either. Battle rap is unique in that sense, in that every single battle has the potential to be completely unique and a once in a lifetime and a one-off performance, and that's fucking rare, man. And so I could bring it back to the point of discourse in battle rap, where I really think more should be done to try and promote that. I really do. And it comes to my next point that I wanted to just kind of generally brush on, which is, in the course of doing interviews for my channel, I became considered a member of the UK battle rap media, which is odd to me, because I never set out to be. I never claimed to be. Having recently had some comments laid at my door to say I've done nothing for the industry, maybe there's some truth to that, because I didn't set out to. I don't inherently try to promote UK battle rap. I don't inherently try to promote anyone within it. I simply seek to promote good content creators, or people who I think are underutilized or underappreciated, or have a certain skill level at a certain aspect of content creation that I think deserves to be studied and emulated. That's always been my mission statement with these interviews. And it just so happens that battle rappers fall into those categories more often than not. There's a couple of battle rappers that I imagine wouldn't see it that way. That's fine. That's not a problem. But in doing so, again, being considered a media member when I'm not, I don't cover it enough to be considered media, I don't think. I don't think the interviews that I do are necessarily pertinent to the genre of battle rap 100% of the time. And I also think there's people that do it better and do it more professionally. Again, if you don't watch battle rap, Trubs and London Gen, the Wire, I've done it again, the Plug TV and London Gen, they're their YouTube channels. Plus Premier Battles and Don't Flop have their own media platforms as well. They do podcasts and recaps, and they'll do best ofs and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But the media for battle rap is kind of sorted on the scale that it is at the moment. What I seek to do is just to try and shine a light on people that I believe should be emulated in some small way beyond the realms of their genre. It's why Shotty Horror was an interview that I really wanted. To level with you, the reason why I wanted to talk to Luna C most of anything is because he is more of a maverick than people give him credit for, in the sense of he was quite open and honest about the fact that battle rap to him was a avenue. It wasn't the be-all, end-all. It doesn't mean to denigrate it, but it does mean that it was something, and I completely resonate with that. That's the thing that I don't think he would believe at this point, or maybe you would understand necessarily, because you as an audience, and we as an audience, me as an audience as well, we're conditioned to think that when we see someone do something, that's their thing. They shouldn't be doing other things. It's a weird one. As much as I disagree with KSI and Logan Paul bastardizing boxing and wrestling as it happens, I can appreciate what they're doing to a certain degree, in the sense of, man, I don't want to be doing this forever. I don't want to be doing interviews in 10 years' time, 20 years' time. I hope I'll have moved on to something else creatively. Just something that gives me something else to play with creatively. Shotty Horror and Lunacy are two people that I see as examples of that, because both of them have done things outside of UK battle rap that I would argue they wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise. Their hard work and their panache and their character and all the rest of that sort of stuff is something to be admired, but would that have been enough to get them an identity outside of battle rap? No, but by the same token, has battle rap benefited from their skill and artistry? 100,000%. It's the reason why they're both held in such high regard, and why why fans want to see them back, and more bafflingly want to see them still battle, even though I would argue, again, I might be in the minority here, I'm offering an opinion, and you can shoot it down if you want, that battle, the relevance of that battle's come and gone. No one needs to see Lunacy versus Shotty Horror anymore. They did 15 years, or whenever it was, like, it's not 2030 yet, but you know what I mean, 10 years ago, when the scene was coming up in the UK, and you had these two guys on a collision course around 2014, I think it would have been, or maybe even 15. Yes, the scene probably could have done with it at that point. Now, though, why? Both of them can do better with their respective music careers, promotional careers, and frankly, both of them would give one hell of a rub. And Shotty's been doing this in his defense. They can give one hell of a rub to the rest of the scene, because their names still carry an extraordinarily large amount of weight within UK battle rap. And it's one of those things where you go, okay, your own legacies are more than secure. Both of them can tweet coming back and it'll get everyone fucking crazy, let alone an announcement. They can both do their things. And I think one of the things about, quote, being considered a media member is, if I'm going to be a media member, I feel like I get a say. I get some kind of an opinion that's worth some cachet when it comes to battle rap. And I think the Bizzos and the Bobbies and the Geminis and the Quills and a lot of the Lazies, the Visuals, the Black Tees, my close friend now, Dub T, Peace Soldiers talking about, there's rumblings there. These guys are all mixing and matching it, and they're all doing it because they love it and they want to do it. let the rub go on to them, because they'll do more for battle rap in the long run at this point. And I think the Plug 4 proves that. I think if you look at the card for Plug 4, I think it came off just fine. Not a problem at all. Shotty Horror not being on the card, not great. Gemini and Coffee being moved to the main card, yeah, not great for the pre-party. But everyone turned up, everyone delivered, everyone had a great time. And frankly, I'm jealous of everyone that was there. It sucks I wasn't really... Yeah, I was looking forward to maybe going, but it was one of those things where you can probably see it. I decided to put up Christmas tree with the babies, so that was fun too. So you only get one opportunity to make Christmas tree with the babies, because they get old. They get old quick. So speaking of babies, that comes to my last talking point for the evening. Gym culture. Man, many of you, Tony D, for instance, I know has never set foot inside of a gym, which is interesting to me, because I would have thought he would have done in his formative years, but turns out no. But many of you may not have stepped inside of a gym. Many of you have. I want to talk about gym culture quickly, because I don't know what happened, or if this was always the same and I just missed the boat at a period where it wasn't. When did people start being lazy in the gym? How does that work? How does that work exactly? I'll state my case. You can feel free to send me your evidence or your rebuttals. You pick up a set of dumbbells. You take them to wherever you're working out. Take them back to where you found them. It's not hard. And then put them back. Why would you leave them on the floor? Why would you put them back somewhere isn't? I'll tell you for why. I was working out at my local gym. I think it was on Saturday. And one of the attendants had to put the dumbbells back. Now, bear in mind, the dumbbells go up to 50 kilograms. This attendant couldn't have weighed more than 47 kilograms soaking wet. The lad was just positively minuscule. And the sight of him looking at and it was the raw end. So you just know some fucking roid monkey has come along and jacked himself up with some fucking whatever, turned up, lifted one rep and gone home and left it there. He just left it there. And this poor kid. And what was really bad was there was at one point, so he was trying to pick up the weights onto his shoulder, I think, because he thought that would be easier. And he had quite long sort of dreads, or I don't know what the style was called, but the point is that it was sort of catching. It was catching on the dumbbell, and it was heartbreaking watching this poor fucker try and move this incredible amount of weight. Not once, not twice, but there must have been fucking 8 sets of these fucking things going down to 40 kilograms. And again, any one of those 40 kilogram weights would probably crush you to death if you left it when you were that weight. So I couldn't help but just go over and say, listen, dude, do you want some help? Do you want some help? And man, I don't think I've ever... The look in that poor fucker's eyes when he's like, really? Like... I didn't know what to say apart from, yo, come on, man. I'm not gonna let you move all these by yourself. And no word of a lie, he got done. Okay, he turned around, and I walked off to kind of come back with something. And shit, we both come back to where I was working out, and there were 2 30-kilogram dumbbells just there. We look around. Are these anybody's? These anybody's at all? And we look at each other like, are you fucking serious? In the space of 30 seconds, some fucker had come out, picked up 2 30-kilogram weights, tried lifting them, decided they were too heavy or whatever, and put them down again. When did being lazy in the gym become a thing? I don't get it. If you're going to go to the gym, you can do whatever workout you like. You can work out for however long you like. I'm not going to tell you how much you have to sweat or how much you eat. I know it's a popular thing these days to tell people how to work out, and you've been doing it wrong all these years and shit like that. I'm not here to tell you that, but I am here to tell you, man, don't be lazy. Show some discipline. Turn up. Treat the place like you actually want to be there. I get you might want to push the boat a little bit, push your body to find the limit and all the rest of that bollocks. In between pre-workouts and all the rest of the sort of shit. But fuck, man, just put the fucking weights back. You want to show you're a real alpha male and all the rest of this bollocks that I'm seeing a lot of on. Again, man, I'm on the short sometimes because you get stuck when someone sends you some shit And man, it's just a succession of fucking idiots telling you you've been doing it wrong this whole time. I don't know what that kid's name is, but you'll know the one I'm talking about, who wears the hat and the baggy shit and has the big hats. The big hair. Just the latest gym fucking sensation who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about and is going to invert his fucking pelvis with all the fucking work he's doing by the time he's 30. I don't want to listen to people like that. I want to listen to people who were 70 and did it for 30 years and stopped and still had a healthy life. But I'm digressing onto a separate subject here. I just want to say, when it comes to gym culture is supposed to be like it to me, is that you turn up, you do your thing, you show respect, you illustrate your discipline, you work your body out the way you're supposed to, and then you leave. You can have a shower, or like me, I don't shower in gyms, just don't. And then you leave, you go about your business, you go about your day. I actually go on my lunchtimes these days because then it means I've got the evenings to do what I want instead of what I used to do, which I used to go for a run on my lunchtime and then train in the evenings. Problem with that now is I'm old as shit. So now I gotta eat before I train, and then I train, and I do my day, and then I come home, I have some lekker, and then I go to bed, because I'm old. If I have to go to one more fucking gym, though, where you turn up, and the weights are everywhere, and there's always some fucking guy, and again, children, I don't know why you do this. If I'm in the middle of a set, don't walk within striking distance of my rep range. Please, I'm begging you, don't do it. It's so annoying. Because not only are you ruining my concentration, because one of the core tenets of weightlifting or training is you got to focus on the fucking muscle. You actually got to think about the motion, otherwise you don't work it to its fullest potential. I've done this for fucking since I was 13, so on and off 18 years at this point. You have to concentrate on the fucking motion of the muscle and actually control the weight, and that takes concentration and effort. But let's just say I'm in the middle of a rep, I don't see you and I drop the weight on your fucking head. I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting hurt in a gym, ever. I've seen it happen in gyms before. 2 very quick stories. Actually, no, it was the same. No, it wasn't. No, it was a different guy. One guy, turn up, starts loading up one side of the fucking bar, doesn't he? And this person has never, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was a guy. I seem to remember it was a guy, younger guy. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was wearing like one of those vests that's like super baggy, but at the same time super tight on the waist. I guess to illustrate where the chest mark is. I don't know. So that's loading up one side of the squat bar. Just hasn't thought about it for more than 30 seconds, and the bar goes fucking flying. And I mean, it wasn't me it would have hit. I was within looking distance. But the girl next to him, yeah, that would have probably cut her in fucking half. And I remember looking at him like, mate, just ask for help. Just ask for help. It's a gym. A gym should be a wonderful place where you go and you understand that everyone's there for the same reason, to get better, to just get a little bit better that day. And that there's no harm in just saying to someone, hey, dude, I'm really sorry, but this is a bit heavy for me to load by myself. Could you just give me a hand, please? I'd load it on the floor, but then I've got to lift it up first, and I can't get it up to my chest, but I can squat it, so I want to do that. What cunt is going to say no? Just, yeah, sure, no worries, mate. I've spotted countless people in the gym. Countless people. You just go, hey, dude, I'm really sorry. Could I just get a spot? Yep, not a problem. I'll spot you for a set. Done. Easy. Hey, do you want to borrow this? Yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, you can borrow it. Yeah, go nuts, man. Alternate on a machine. Gym culture should be a beautiful thing, man. And I tried it. I'm not saying it is when I'm there. That's fucking big-headed as shit. But when I go, I try and make it a bit of a mission of mine to try and duck in where I think I can help someone a little bit. Case in point is often when you see a guy or a group of, it's usually a group of young men. Young guys tend to go to gyms in groups when they first start these days. At least I see quite a few groups as opposed to quite a few individuals who I deem within that criteria. And one of the things is that they often don't give each other great advice. So one of the things I try and do is I'll go in, and if I see one that's particularly struggling on emotion, I'll go, can I just offer you a piece of advice? And you always got to ask. You can't just walk over and tell them what to do. It's rude. But you say, hey, listen, can I just offer you a piece of advice? When you're on this machine, it's a good idea to do this. Guy today, as a matter of fact, he's doing trap work, And I was trying to say to him, hey, dude, just, do this. There's a reason for it. You do this. Okay, all good? Okay, cool. All right, I'm sorry to bother you. It just lets people know that it's a community. It lets people know that they're struggling. And it's an uncomfortable thing to be in the gym. I will concede, you're very conscious about how you look. You're probably wearing something you don't like. You're a bit uncomfortable anyway because you walked into a gym and no gym smells nice. I don't care if you're paying 50 quid a month for Virgin. They all honk. It's loud, it's clangy, there's probably people yelling and music that's dreadful. And now you're sweating, and now you're hurt, and now you're moving, and you're trying to do whatever. It's not pleasant. Just being friendly and being helpful and being just a quick nod here and there. Man, you make so many friends at the gym with that. Just, not that I'm saying, no one who does any of the former things rather than the latter things is watching this, but if I had any piece of advice for people who were looking at joining a gym in trepidation because of the supposed culture, I would just say to you, you'd be surprised how quickly you affect it. You do get fucking, like I said, as I said earlier, roid monkeys. For me, a roid monkey is typified by the kind of guy. There's a really bad example at my gym at the moment where the guy is just all fucking torso. All torso. And he does one rep and puts the fucking weight down as hard as he can. And he just wanders into frame. Just wanders in. And you go, why do you need to do this? Is your self-esteem, is your self-worth that low that it's worth swanning around the mirror effectively for an hour, lifting something, throwing it, and then walking away? And this guy was a piece of work because I actually moved. I was doing some arm sets or whatever, and he just kind of stood right next to me. And okay, fine, I guess he needs somewhere to work. I'll move it over. And then about 30 seconds later, he moves all the way across and does the thing I said. He just starts lifting while I'm in the middle of a set. I put the thing down and said, dude, can you not do that? And it was a weird one because he tried to put the kind of frighteners, because he's a big guy, much bigger than me, as a matter of fact, probably twice my size. Big fella. But I'm also acutely aware that there are cameras in a gym, and I'm also not being a twat by saying, dude, you're in my space and I was here because I moved to accommodate you being over there. Come on. Not used to that. And again, a lot of guys do get kowtowed by that. It's a weird one because, again, it's a weird one. That aspect of gym culture could do with a term, but you're always going to have those sort of really annoying guys that make being in the gym not fun. And yeah, I just wanted to ask, when did laziness become a thing, but also that gym bro? What do we do to get rid of them? What do we do? I don't know. I'm interested in suggestions and comments letting me know how we get rid of them, but I don't know. I do love the gym though. The gym's great. You should go to the gym. It's fun. It's cheap too. You can get a shower there if you want. I don't take them, so you know I'm not in there. I don't know why that's right. I think I've spoken too long. We've been going a half an hour, and that'll do. I think I've rambled incoherently enough. But yeah, you'll forgive me. Sometimes this channel is my therapy. Sometimes it's just nice to talk. And it's nice to have your company. So, if you took time out of your day to give me a little bit of a watch, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ben Lorne. I'm the host of the Halcyon Show. Respected UK battle rap media member. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to lay something out on the line. In my last show, I mentioned the possibility of interviewing Shotty Horror. I must be brutally honest with you. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a thing. I think it was more of a Hollywood thing. From what I'm given to understand, he's a bit of a hermit in terms of his social media presence. He'll pop up when he wants to and then go away when he wants to. I've never directly interacted with him outside of the timeline. I don't have a time or a date. It's just he said he'd do it, and I got a bit excited. So if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't come off this week or ever, I apologize in advance. And one last thing. Might as well do it on air because why not at this point? You may have seen the discourse between me and Luna C. In fact, I referenced it in the last live stream. I still want the interview. I know that probably makes me look like a bitch. Because I kind of am. Because I want that fucking interview. I don't care how much we may disagree with on things. I'll level with you. It'd be interesting if he ever sees this. I think the reason me and him don't see eye to eye very easily, he reminds me a lot of my little brother. And my little brother is almost exactly his age and talks a little like him and acts a little like him. And me and my little brother, we have never... we used to be like twins for a little period, so we were like 8 or 9. And then he started listening to DMX and Tupac. And I started listening to Linkin Park and Korn and Slipknot and shit. And we have not seen eye to eye since then. Now, as adults, we can sympathize with each other on the basis of we're both dads. We both work for a living. And we're now grown-ups. But when me and my brother get in a room, there is a weird energy. There's a weird energy. It's a very competitive and somewhat aggressive energy. And I felt a little bit with Luna in our discourse. And it was also, I felt that with Luna towards the back end of it when there was, I felt an opportunity to try and mend fences that I maybe was a bit too vitriolic to take at the time. In hindsight, it's one of those things. Having seen him, though, post the next fucking day, any battle rap outlets want to have me on to talk, you fucking bastard. It made me, it's so annoying, but it made me laugh, because I thought, well, if that's the way to have a dig, that's very good, because I want the fucking interview. So, there you go. I mean, if anyone sees this and knows Luna, or wants to just ping him to say, hey, he's still talking about you, well, make sure you see the full clip, because despite our back and forth, I still have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a performer. And I think that little bit of heat, that little bit of tension is something I've never contended with in an interview before. I've contended with feeling very nervous, or feeling on the back foot, or intellectually intimidated. Those are all things I've contended with. I've never contended with having like just an inherent hostility that has to be almost navigated and suppressed. And I kind of look forward to it, I must be honest with you. Be a totally different type of interview. And it might end up being a lot of fun. But who knows? Shotty horror, we'll see. Lunacy, probably not. Spoken about them both a little bit on this show. But, meh, we'll see. We're still lining up guests for the future. I'm going to try and get some stuff lined up for, if not this week, next week, in terms of a few other guests. I've got to see what their availability is like before Christmas kicks in. But in the meantime, I tried wrapping up early. I'm going to really wrap up this time. My name's been Lorne Risley, host of the Halcyon Show. I appreciate you joining me this evening. I sincerely hope you are all taking care of yourselves on this this rough nearly winter's evening. And I guess I'll see you on the next episode of the Halcyon Show.